Sometimes I think about when I was a kid and how I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I should have. What is up, film geeks? My name is Trevor and welcome to my channel. Do you ever just think about the movies you watched all the time as a kid that you don't necessarily watch now? The pure nostalgia of growing up? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. My top 30 favorite childhood movies of all time. And this isn't going to be from 30 to 1. It's literally just going to be 30 movies that I constantly watched all of the time growing up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a longer video. Hit that like button, subscribe button. Let me know your list down below. Let's hop into the nostalgia. Like I said, these are in no particular order, so starting off, we have Spirit. I had a Spirit birthday party growing up. That's how much I love this yellow horse. And when I think back to my childhood, I just want a horse to name him Spirit. I had horses, but they were never named Spirit. I wish I had one. Moving on, we have Camp Rock 1 and 2, the final gen. The Camp Rock movies are fire. I don't care what anyone says. The Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato. I wanted to go to camp like this and have an awesome competition where everyone's singing, falling in love. It's just the greatest. I think I like Camp Rock 2 a little bit more than Camp Rock 1. Both great soundtracks. Drake just makes you feel so good. It makes me think like, man, it's coming to the end of summer. We gotta watch Camp Rock or Camp Rock 2. The final jam. Moving on, then we have Minuteman. A lot of these movies are gonna be from Disney Channel, because that's what I grew up with, the Disney Channel. I had DirecTV growing up. It was channel 290. That was Disney Channel 290, and I watched Minuteman an unhealthy amount of times all the time growing up. Jason Dolly and these guys going back in time. They're messing with the world. It was insane. It was crazy. My little brain just couldn't comprehend it. Then we have the High School Musical trilogy. I didn't want to put all three on this list to take up more spots. Just the trilogy of High School Musical. Now, these are some movies that I would go back and watch now. Like, I love these movies going up. I would rank them 2, 1, then 3. 3 still fire. 2 was like, that's one of my favorite summer movies of all time. And I love the soundtrack. I love Troy. I love Gabriella. I love Sharpay. I mean, I love this world. I love this trilogy. And if they ever wanted to make a High School 4 with the cast returning, I'm all here for it. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on, we have Night at the Museum. You're telling me you never thought once when you went to like, a museum as a kid that like all this stuff couldn't come to life? I promise you could. Well, Night at the Museum hits on exactly that. Actually, fun fact for you, Sean Levy, who is one of the creators of Stranger Things, directed The Internship, recently directed Free Guy, also directed The Adam Project, one of my favorite directors working today. He made this movie, Night at the Museum. I thought that was a cool little fun fact, and Night at the Museum is awesome. It's hilarious. Hey, dum-dum, give me gum-gum. I thought that was the funniest thing ever as a kid. Owen Wilson's in this movie, and Ben Stiller, he just crushes it. He absolutely crushes it. Then we have Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Now, I went back and rewatched this movie earlier this year, and it didn't hit as hard. It's still fire, but, like, I love the fantasy genre so much. I have ever since I was a little kid, and I loved watching this movie as a little kid. The Witch was terrifying. Aslan, that lion, was badass, and, like, all these kids who were, like, nobodies from where they grew up, and all of a sudden, they were the kings and queens of Narnia. What? That stuff is awesome. Great action. I remember watching this in theaters and then seeing it on Disney Channel as well. It was insane. It was awesome. Next up, we have the Spiderwick Chronicles. I don't know if there's a lot of Spiderwick fans out there, but I read the books at the Scholastic Book Fair all the time, and Spiderwick, the first Spiderwick movie, was fire. I probably still have it on DVD. Like, it was so good, so underrated. I remember seeing it for one of my friend's birthday parties growing up in the theater, and we all loved it. We all acted like we were in a Spiderwick world growing up. Those books were great, but the movie was fire, and I always wanted a sequel, and we never got it. Then we have Alvin and the Chipmunks. I had my 2nd grade birthday party going to see Alvin and the Chipmunks. Me and like 10 of my friends and my parents, my poor parents, took us all to see this movie, and we were laughing, screaming, hooting and hollering, and having a great time. 2nd grade, like, what a time to be alive. Then we have The Game Plan. Dwayne Johnson, Madison Pettis. This movie's fire. Like, you go back and watch it now, like, you're going to roll your eyes, you're going to cringe at the dialogue, but, like, The Game Plan was so good. I loved it so much. The biggest sports star in the world finds out he has a daughter and has to become a dad. Like, I love that. I watched it all the time growing up, and when I have kids one day, I will probably show them all 30 of these movies, but definitely The Game Plan, because I love The Game Plan so much. Then we have Underdog. I don't know if you guys remember Underdog, but the guy who played Earl and My Name is Earl voiced Underdog, and, like, it's about a dog with superpowers, and I went for another one of my friend's birthday parties, and, like, we all talked about our favorite moment, and all of us agreed that the best moment of the movie was, like, the bloopers at the end, when he said, "No need to fear, underwear is here." It's dumb. It's stupid. I know, but, exactly where we were. We're 10 movies down. Moving on, we have Meet the Robinsons. I saw this one in theaters as well, and I watched it all the time on Disney Channel. This was a futuristic, awesome animated movie, and easily one of the most underrated Disney movies ever. I would still watch this now and have a great time with it. Great villains, great story, great twists and turns. My little brain cannot comprehend yet again. The Meet the Robinsons was fire. I absolutely loved it. And we had Chicken Little. The sky is falling. I don't know why there's so much hate for Chicken Little, but, like, I loved it. I remember watching it all the time with my friends growing up, and Chicken Little was just, it was so fire, it was so funny. No one believed this little chicken, because he was little, and he was screaming the sky was falling, and quite frankly, literally, the sky was falling. I thought it was awesome. I really did. Then we have Sky High. I'm not trying to lie to you. Sky High was one of the coolest superhero movies I ever saw growing up. About high school kids finding out, like, the superpowers and, like, everything like that. Like, that was so freaking cool. Kurt Russell's in this movie. It was great. I loved Sky High so much. And I still do. Like, I would still go and watch this movie. I think it's hilarious. I think the action's good. I think this people's powers really cool. I love the guy who blew up. His name was Zach in the movie. The guy who would, like, literally glow. That was super cool. The fire dude was cool. Like, just, it was all around cool, man. It was just a cool freaking movie. Then we have Because of WinnDixie. It's a dog movie, and my mom and I loved watching this together. It's like one of my childhood memories with my mom that I have is, like, we used to always watch Because of WinnDixie together. A great little movie. Then we have a live-action Peter Pan movie. This movie was, like, the ultimate bee's knees, awesome live-action Peter Pan movie. I watched it all the time. I remember my babysitter used to come on all the time. We used to always watch this movie. I watched this movie at daycare. Like, I watched this movie an unhealthy amount of times, and, like, I don't think anyone's seen it, so if you've seen this live-action Peter Pan, please let me know. Moving on, Brother Bear. The first Brother Bear, first off, Phil Collins soundtrack, it's great. You have freaking Joaquin Phoenix voicing Sitka, like, no one knew who that was at that time, at least I didn't. I was a kid, I was like, this movie's great, and, like, Sitka and Coda. I had a dog named Coda, and, like, Sitka and Coda were just, there's two bears in a pod, man. It was awesome. I freaking loved that. Then we have Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2. Like, these movies were just, like, talk about childhood. I would say these movies. Like, that's how much I loved these growing up. And Cheaper by the Dozen 2, a great summer movie. They go to the lake cabin. They have the Baker family versus the other family, like these big, like, water games and everything like that. It's hilarious. It's awesome. Kids growing up, families, complex dynamic, huge families growing up together and making it work. And I loved it. Then we have Big Fat Liar. Frankie Muniz, bro. Like, this is about this kid who writes this story for high school. Then he gets hit by a guy, like a big movie star director guy, in his limo. He runs over Frankie Muniz. He gets in the car, and then he leaves his essay in the car. Then the guy makes his essay into a movie. And, like, would that happen? Probably not, but I didn't care. Moving on to another Frankie Muniz movie, Agent Cody Banks 2, Destination London. My mom, my brother, and I used to always have movie nights, like once a week we try to watch movies together, and my brother would always win, like, the coin toss or whatever we did, and he constantly, every time, picked this movie, Agent Cody Banks 2, Destination London. This movie is fire, has a great little, like, singing scene in it, but the action's great, and it's about these, like, spy kind of kids that are just running around, kicking ass, taking names. Like, it was awesome, it was super cool, and, like, I got tired of watching it all the time, but, like, I would kill to go back to one of those nights now and just enjoy that movie on a Friday night with my mom, my brother. Like, that's super awesome. Then we have Kicking and Screaming. I'm not gonna lie to you, all-time sports movie right here, okay? This movie is straight heat, bro. Will Ferrell, I think he's hilarious, and he's a guy who knows nothing about soccer, and his son is a bench warmer on his dad's team, so creates his own team. They're the worst, but they go to this meat factory, and they see these two Italian kids playing soccer. Then they pick those Italian kids up, put them on the team, and they start winning games, and they win the championship. Great underdog story, great movie. It's hilarious. It's really dumb, but I absolutely love it. 20 down and 10 to go. Next up, we have Racing Stripes. Hayden Panettiere. It's a zebra at her house, and they go and they, like, race it, I believe, in a Kentucky Derby or not. And, like, I think that Frankie Muniz voices Stripes as well, and Hayden Panettiere is riding this zebra literally in a race with all his horses. Like, it's a dumb movie, but, like, it's hilarious, and all the other animals on the farm talking. Like, it's hilarious, especially the two flies. Like, they were so funny. Spy Kids, 1, 2, 3, all of them. Give me all of them. I watched these all the time on Nickelodeon Cartoon Network growing up. I mean, Spy Kids 2, when it had, like, the little world that emulated the big world, and you can see everything on this little map, was crazy. But Spy Kids 3 Game Over, where they're, like, in the video game, like, that was so cool. Junie, Butterfingers, like, come on, this movie was just, it was gangster. I loved it, bro. Like, Spy Kids, like, I wanted to be a Spy Kid. Then we have The Lion King 1.5. I always watched The Lion King growing up, but I still watch that now to this day. But The Lion King 1.5 was like a straight-to-DVD type movie, and like it was just straight fire. It was about Timon and Pumbaa and how they met and their adventures together and how before they went to go and meet Simba. There's a song I sing in this all the time. Scurry, sniff, flinch. I sing that like all the time, and it's weird. That's fine. I'm 23 years old. Why am I still singing that? Because I love Lion King 1.5. Then we have The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan playing both versions of these kids. And like, The Parent Trap was this hilarious movie I watched all the time on Disney Channel. And I even rewatch it every now and then. Like, every now and then. But I watched this enough growing up that I had to make this list. I have not seen the original, but I love the remake with Lindsay Lohan. Then we have Aragon. I'm going to keep it short and sweet on this one because I don't believe anyone's probably seen this movie or even really heard of this movie. It's about this like farmer boy who like stumbles upon a dragon egg and gets a dragon who's blue, named Saphira. I told you I love fantasy, and this movie was fire. I read the book. They had a bunch of books on. I believe it's getting made to a Disney Plus series. Come on, baby. I can't wait for it. 25 movies down, 5 to go. Nickelodeon movies. Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. I love this movie so much because I love Christmas so much, and I want to go back this Christmas, and I'm going to watch this movie, god dang it. Drake and Josh, one of my favorite childhood TV shows, and Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh, one of my favorite childhood movies, easily. Then we have Drake and Josh Go Hollywood. This one was just classic Drake and classic Josh making a mistake, have to go to Hollywood and like do whatever they can to help Megan out and like, get her back and get Megan to where she's actually supposed to go. Drake and Josh Go Hollywood is one of those movies where everything and anything could go wrong and they get into legal trouble and everything. It's hilarious, it's dumb, it's all over the place. But Drake and Josh Goes Hollywood, like you're telling me at the end when they take Tony Hawk's Corvette to go save Megan and they have that big fight in the money room. That was badass, dude. I don't even care. And I saved these 3 for the final 3 because these are my top 3 favorite childhood movies. At number 3 is going to be the SpongeBob Squarepants movie. Watched this countless times on Nickelodeon. SpongeBob and Patrick go on this awesome, heartbreaking journey, and like the pirates were watching this movie in the theater. I thought that was always a nice touch. And then like, I'm a goofy goober. Oh, come on, give it to me. At number 2. ScoobyDoo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I love the Scooby-Doo movies, and the first Scooby-Doo's fine, but I watched this one probably like every weekend growing up, watching during Halloween time. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed was hilarious. I still love Scooby-Doo, hold them near and dear to my heart. But this movie was awesome, and it was terrifying, it was scary, and like, this is when you have like the hot Velma, you know, it's like, she's dressed up in all leather, and it was hilarious, it was funny, and I love Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. But my favorite childhood movie of all time, it's probably not what you're thinking of. It's starring Vin Diesel, called The Pacifier. It's a PG movie. It's really cheesy, really dumb, but a guy who doesn't have any kids or anything like that, who's a Navy SEAL, a big, hard, muscly guy, goes here and has to basically be a dad to these kids. It's hilarious. It's crazy as hell. But Vin Diesel has a lot of fun with this one. It's the first Vin Diesel movie I watched, and I remember when my dad bought this for my brother and I growing up on DVD, and we watched it 4 times in a row. Literally, and ended, we put it on again, ended, we put it on again, ended, we put it on again, and we did that again 4 times in a row. I watched Pacifier all the time growing up. It's my favorite childhood movie. Let me know your nostalgic list down below in the comments section. Hit that like button, subscribe button. My voice is going away. We've been filming for 18 minutes here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.